Hello, bit of internets, and welcome to Automation in 1989. There also seems to have been an update which has given all these models different black wheels to what they would normally have. But anyway, we do need to build a competitor of sorts to the Lexus LS400. So I'm going to firstly rule off anything that won't really be able to compete. So we're looking at convertibles, hatchbacks and sedans. They're the only cars that really could compete. It has to be something fairly large. I wouldn't say full American land yacht large, but it still has to be fairly large. I wouldn't want to go any older than 1985. We have all these things here, but are they a bit small? I would say this 2.7mm is probably quite a good option that we can use. We can go with a few aluminium panels. It is quite a high-end car, but I don't intend to go crazy with a chassis. Save a bit of money there. I may upgrade it later. I may not go with just galvanized steel, but hey, I'm not going with standard steel. It has to have at least some corrosion resistance, protection, whatever you call it, at this kind of end of the market. Now, should I go with a front transverse? I wonder. I could go full-on Cadillac, full-on 70s Cadillac and make it front longitudinal front-wheel drive. But you know what? I think I'll do transverse front-wheel drive. It's weird, but who's to say? I mean, it could be a lot worse. I am not going with a torsion beam on the back. This is a luxury car, so we could go with double wishbone even. Better than the front suspension, but I don't think we'll need that. Semi-trailing arm, that's semi-independent. I think it'll do the job. Now, we are going with air suspension or hydropneumatic or something of the sort, so it won't matter particularly if it isn't as good. Inline 4, is that what we want? We can go with an inline 6, but mounting it transversely is a very strange thing to do. So I'm going to mount a V6 transversely. We'll go with an aluminium engine, and yeah, fully aluminium. We'll go with dual overhead cam instead of the quad cam that the Lexus used. Now, I do have a way of making back my kind of losses though. It is 3 litres at the moment. I'll leave it there for the time being. Keep the internals cast iron for the time being. I'm not sure if there is the cast that saves fuel. I don't think that's it. I think one of the types of cast iron was more fuel efficient. Let's see about this one. It does seem to have lower emissions, so I'll give that a go. Now, let's have VVT, sure. Turbocharger, there we go. Now, the Lexus didn't have a turbocharger, probably all for the better as far as reliability is concerned. But in my 3 litre V6, we are going to have a turbocharger. So, we will have multi-point electronic injection as well. Try and keep this thing advanced. Per cylinder or twin? I don't know, I'll start off with twin, maybe go per cylinder. And we'll go with a standard intake. It is a standard car at the end of it all, as much of a performance machine as it might appear to be. I mean, it's crammed in the engine bay a bit more than I would like, but it doesn't actually struggle for width, which is interesting for a transverse mounted engine. Probably because it's only 3 cylinders wide. Make it a dual exhaust since there's dual cylinder banks. I mean, we can run with that. Let's go with a good catalytic converter and plenty of muffling. I think the turbocharger acts as a sort of muffler as well. So, we need to adjust the RPM limit. Bring that up a bit. Oh dear. Oh dear. The piston and conrod do not like that at all. So I'm going to have to just completely readjust the engine if I am to deal with the high revving nature of this. I can make it up to about 3.5 litres by the looks of it before I just run out of space to do stuff. Anyway, huge amounts of lag, and it's not making that much power at all. But it will rev to 7800 now, which is definitely a positive. There we go. We're getting pretty close to the LS400 without even trying. Remember that made about 240 initially. So, next up, we have to adjust the exhausts. Yeah, massive lag, up to 4000 RPMs. And it weighs 200 kilograms. So, where is it optimal? The colours seem hard to see compared to before, but I can just about see them. So, 6200, let's see how it sounds. There we go. So, it's a strange thing to do to a luxury car, but anyway, it is what it is. Shall we bring that back? This is not your conventional front-engine, front-wheel drive vehicle. Can bring that down here a bit as well. Kind of just bring the whole format of the car back. Give it more rearwards weight balance. Or we could bring this forwards actually. Gives it more cabin space. Since it is front-wheel drive. How about that? I think we need to... Oh dear. I think we need to change it to a nice colour. How about this one? There we go. Icy blue or whatever you call it. So, it is transverse front-wheel drive. I don't know why we can't put all-wheel drive on. I'm pretty sure it existed by this point. Not that it wouldn't benefit a luxury car like this particularly anyway. Still, would people even buy it back in the late 80s? Would they buy a front-wheel drive luxury car? Because it wasn't exactly proven technology. Automatic 4-speed is what we'll go with. An open differential. Yep, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to keep under control. Although, will it be as much of a nightmare as fronty muscle? I could put all-wheel drive on it, I guess. I don't know. Probably not. We'll go with hard long life for the time being. 215s on the back, same as the front. Although they need to go a bit wider. And we'll go with alloy wheels. 17 inches or maybe 16s. I don't know. Let's see what actual options we have. We have these Volvo wheels, a bit modern. I don't find they would work. They are a bit cheaper looking actually. These look about right. They're probably what I used on my pickup truck, but oh well. Do we want 19s? Are they too big for the time? Yeah, I think just a little. 18s look okay. It's a bit of a blobby car, now I think of it. I can bring that round. Makes it even more blobby, but you know. I think I can actually work with it. Ooh, how about those? Yes, very elegant. And we can have some kind of fancy grills. Ooh, let's see. Let's see how one of these will work. I know they're probably too modern, but anyway. Oh dear. That can place there. And nope. There is that, but I'm not sure it works. Actually, I don't think it does work. Ooh, how about these? I don't believe they're LS400 lights, though I believe they're Mercedes lights, but they are similar kind of era. And they should work on the front of this car. I like how they flow with the wheel. I mean, it's completely incidental, but I do like how they flow back with the front wheels. Like so. Dear me. Gotta get this in position. There we are. So, is it able to have something a bit smoother, perhaps? Well, I can do that. Not quite what I was looking for, though. No, that is definitely not what I was looking for. How about here? And I can do that. Ooh, I could go with blue. Or carbon, even. But no, I think we want chrome. Meaning I will have to change the orange to something more reasonable. There is the edge. The edge can be chrome as well. Now, going to need some grillery working. Ooh, how about this one? This has a fair bit of chrome on it, so with the current scheme, colour scheme I'm working with, it should work. I don't think I've quite got understatement down to a level of the LS400. It's a bit too shouty, but you know. Maybe, just maybe I'll get away with it. There we are. It does stick, it sticks forward at the front in a weird way. I'm not sure I can do anything about that. Because I would just mess up my front end design a bit more. I can try changing the grille, but I don't think that would do anything. Yeah, it wouldn't. It just doesn't do anything good for it, changing that grille. I'll have to have that weird sticking out piece of metal then, dangerous as it may be. Move that down. For the time being, that'll have to do. Although, I do intend to change it later on. Badge. If only we had bonnet ornaments. I think there was, at one point, bonnet ornaments. But not anymore. Have all these kinds of strange badges on here that I've downloaded. So, what is there? Ooh, these look like they are... Yeah, these look like they are designed for specific markets, so... This one seems like a decent German type of badge, I guess, so I'm going to run with that. It's a patriotic German company that makes this car. And they're attempting to make something better than an LS400. Probably failing badly, but, you know, they can try. There we go. Nope, it just doesn't work with that bodywork crease. Has to move down a bit. I'm thinking of keeping with what I've done with the front for the rear. And maybe, just maybe, I could use these. Or do they look too old? I'm thinking I could change the colour, so to speak. So if we go find where it is. No, that would be the other lights. Yes, it's this one. Now we need to add some brake lights, like so. Either this will work incredibly well, or it will look absolutely horrendous. I am not sure yet. But I do need a pair of... I need a pair of chrome strips, and I need a big black chrome strip. Ooh, what are these? Are these like sunroofs? Maybe this would do the job. Actually, yes it would. I know it's meant as a sunroof, but is there any reason I can't use it for this? There we go. Move these forwards. Like so. It'll work as a middle thing. I'm not sure it'll work for the other parts of my brilliant scheme, as it is. I've done this before on 1 or 2 vehicles, and it's kind of worked. There we are. Now we do need mirrors. Otherwise we wouldn't be seeing behind us very well. How about finding some that are kind of era appropriate? Flip them round. I will have chrome on the windows. This is my car. How about moving this forwards? Nope, still can't overrule the plastic there. Looks like I'm going to have it on the bodywork crease, as much as I don't want to. It's the only real place that there is for it. I think proportionally this is actually a very good car. Although I could pull the back in, because maybe it just extends out a bit too much. Sounds like a weird thing to say for a luxury car, but this is more subtle than those vehicles that may compete with it. It's not trying to be really excessively, I wouldn't say blatant, but it's not trying to be excessively showy. Now, we do have an estate. I won't be using that. I'll be using the saloon. I'd need to find the chrome, though. We could have a bonnet scoop, but no. Again, the subtlety needs to be there. Bumper bar, there we go. This is where we find the chrome strips. I've been looking for so long and just couldn't find the bumper bar menu. So, we need to move this out there. Bring it to the front. Make it slightly smaller. If we can move... No. Right, time to undo my mistakes. And can we move these back? There we are. Hasn't really done anything, but you know, I can try. And we will have the same plastic strip here. I think I've just realised, actually, I've used this same technique on my pickup truck, of all things. But hey, it works. It fits with the 90s aesthetic of this. So, who am I to complain? I mean, it just won't go there. as much as I would want it to, will it mean I can't go with a door handle either? Because it looks like that would be the only place to mount it. Door handle. I think I know what kind of door handle I want vaguely. Something just like many 90s door handles. Yep, it absorbs it. They'll go on the doors, but they'll get absorbed if I try and put it on the boot. That's disappointing. Unless, of course, I can put them there, and then... No, they're already as forward as they can go. And that's always as backwards as it can go. So, there we go. We have a very obscure-looking rear end and a pretty sensible front end. Now it's time, I guess, to move on to the wheels and such like. Now, I did briefly touch on these before. They're going to need to be offset to balance out for them being narrower. Probably because this is meant to be a 5 series or something, and henceforth it is rear wheel drive designed, but I've given it front wheel drive, which has made things interesting visually. Going to have a massive offset to balance for that, as a matter of fact. Front brakes will be solid discs, rear brakes will be drum brakes, which sounds ridiculous for a land yacht of sorts, but I think it's going to work. I think it really will be able to brake because I've got an aluminium body, remember. It shouldn't be too heavy. Fully clad under tray, keep it aerodynamic, and we'll have 5 seats, sure. We could go with luxury or sport. I think luxury. Premium cassette or luxury. Premium cassette, maybe. Do we want premium cassette or do we want luxury cassette? Oh, my confusion. Sure, we'll go with luxury. We'll go with variable hydraulic power steering, all of the assists, and as far as safety, I'd say advanced. We want this to be advanced, especially since it's only 80s safety and we're very almost in the 90s. So, you know, gotta keep with the times. The suspension is cheap on this. I'm not sure I want to put double wishbone on the front though, because of how the engine is transverse and it might not fit so well. A Honda Civic does have better suspension though. A 1989 Honda Civic, I think. I think that has double wishbone all round, so yeah, go figure. Now, we don't have air suspension available to us, but we do have hydro pneumatic, so I'm going to use that. Now, I don't believe the first generation LS400 had air suspension, so my point being here that the suspension design might not be the best, but I'm going to attempt to use hydro pneumatic suspension to kind of bring it back a bit and help it compete. It is competing in premium quite well, actually. Low sportiness penalty, but then it just goes to muscle. I don't want this to be a sports car, that's the thing. The Lexus wasn't a sports car, and neither do I want this to be a sports car. Oh, those lights. Those lights are not happy there. The front ones are okay, but just the rears, they've had enough. I need to try and grab them and see if I can change them. Oh, for whatever reason they got flipped around. No wonder they're in trouble. They were fine that way, but then they just got flipped over. So, how heavy is this? It's got 60% of the weight of the front, not typical luxury things. But it does only weigh 1,400 kilograms, so this is a light vehicle. mind, it's probably also quite small for something of the luxury class. I have got 276.4, just barely within the limitations. The later LS400 did have 280 horsepower, but that was the second generation car, not the one from 1989, so I am doing well for myself. Now, we have all-wheel drive. How heavy is it? It's almost 1600 kilograms. Again, as I said about the R32, it is lighter than this. Something like 100 kilograms lighter. But that doesn't try and be a luxury saloon as well. Now, we need some differentials, I would say. That is going to hurt it because they're trying to just see it as a more premium car. Or how about luxury? How did luxury see having a limited slip differential? So they're not really phased by having the vicious one at all in any way. They just don't really care. Automatic locker, manual locker. Could go with a manual locker, or I could go with a vicious differential. I think manual locker sounds ridiculous, but they'll help when you get this car off-road, should you ever need to use it for some light dirt driving or whatever. The locking differentials should help it find traction. It does get going quick, under 7 seconds. The automatic transmission is going to stay. I mean, I still intend this to be an LS400 rival. I'm not going to suddenly turn around and say I'm trying to compete with a Honda NSX. It is still competing with what it's competing with. However, I am also using this engine to its best of its abilities because it does have potential. It does have the ability to go quite fast, so why not do that with it? I do think this needs to sit quite a bit lower actually, because it's quite scary high at the moment. I wonder if I actually changed the front suspension. Nah, let's not. I've made it work with double wishbone. 55.2 front, so it's fairly well balanced as well. Not perfectly, but, you know, not too bad. We'll go luxury cassette, yes. Cassette and luxury aren't two words that are usually used together. Now, I'm going to use disc brakes on the rear. Originally, it was not the plan, but with where things are going, you're going to need more stopping power to get this thing slowed. 2 piston on the front, 127.5 for the market statistics. This is doing very, very well. I'm going to need to lower it, which I can easily do on double wishbone suspension. And they actually like having it lower, probably because it doesn't feel as wobbly when it's got the lower wide height. Which I can respect. Yeah, it looks better like that as well. In my opinion, at least. I think we need a crazy rear ring. I know it's not typical to have them on land yachts, but I think we do. Yep, we're going to have massive gaping holes in our spoiler just because that's the way these things are. It has to actually be moved back so it doesn't slam into the rear window in a painful way. There we are. Do I want a rear diffuser to go with my horrendously cracked wing? I don't know. I want to keep it kind of elegant, if I can. So, how about a lip? Oh, that's where the diffusers are, conveniently. There we are. Extra downforce. I think that looks quite good, personally. It's not your typical type of German vehicle. But yeah, you know, I could imagine myself with this vehicle. There we are. It's kind of there. It's just a big blob. Anyway, it is a vehicle with basically everything it needs. Which means we're going to need to name this. I don't have a name in mind though. Also, where's the aerial? The most 90s thing ever. Where are they? No, they're just not showing. Come on. Trim. You will be going chrome. Yes. Oh wait, I've kind of painted a weird bronzish chrome. By the looks of it, I don't know. No, I think that is just chrome. But my mind is somehow in denial. Because it looks so reddish. Edit paint. There we go. That is more like chrome. It's more based on white than based on red, basically. So, we have the mirrors. They need to be chrome underneath. There we go. I mean, this has been an unamusing build because everything has just gone so perfectly. I mean, I would have expected some pain, some turmoil in actually building this, but no. It's just gone so nicely, actually. How about adding partial chrome to these? And I always click on the wrong bit. There we go. That's what I mean. That should have done the other side, yes. I could do the wing, but I don't think it'd look good. There we are. I would add a boot handle, but as I said, there's not really a way I can fit one on. Maybe I should put that down there as well. It'll fit just above the slitter without any weird artifacting. I'll have to just pretend there's a handle there because it's the only way. But anyway, all the things to do. We've got to adjust the suspension, make final adjustments. Looks like I've got a lot of camber here. -2 on the camber on the back. It's quite a bit, but then there is also other bits. Maybe I've not adjusted. I've just remembered actually, as I saw this. We've not got a fuel filler door. See, I'm not even forgetting things. This time, it's just going far too well. Should I go like Mustang and put it on the back? No. I think if it's a UK destination car, the fuel filler door would be here, typically. So we'll put it there. I mean, nothing special about that. We're just putting a standard fuel filler door on it. And it can run on LPG, being petrol. Not that anyone's going to do that. for a long time yet. Now we're going to put our fancy not chrome on these wheels. Yeah, I like it. So, what have we got here? 276 horsepower, 299 torques. It makes the power, starts making the power at 3,400 RPM-ish. And all in all, despite weighing quite a bit, the engine is a good unit. I don't really want any of those retro skylines and stuff like that. That would not exactly make a luxury sedan, saloon, whatever. Why did I say sedan? I'm not American. Now, I think we want symmetrical all-wheel drive, yeah. Again, veering on the side of safety, as opposed to veering on the side of sportiness. Although it has got some sporty potential and I'm more pleased with it for it, I don't want it to become known for that. I don't want it to just become a sports car. So, I think it's ready. Apart from the name, of course. Yes, okay, it's about as good as I can do. Oil glider. Oil glider. F3000. Because it's got a flat engine and it's got just under 3,000 cc's. And we don't need to bother with the engine variants because I'll probably just delete them eventually anyway. But with that being said and done, I'm going to export this car to BeamNG.drive and see how it does. So here we have the oil glider, as I have called it, and let's try the indicators. No, apparently either they don't work or my keys aren't mapped on my keyboard anymore. Either way, you'll see, I think in the person, it actually looks quite good. Still, it maybe isn't as big as you'd think. So, I forgot to turn the electronic stability off. Silly me. Anyway, we've got to get around this corner. It's actually doing it with relative ease. It is understeering a bit, but I did get around there, and the floatiness is actually lovely. I can just go right over these bumps like I'm in an SUV, only it's better than in an SUV. So, time to hopefully stop spinning the wheels, put the power down, which it does without any major problems thanks to the all-wheel drive system. This actually reminds me in a very good way of the ETK sports car I drove recently, but it doesn't feel like it's going to throw me into a ditch and then eat itself, basically. Now, I could be wrong on that respect. I could be very, very wrong, but it feels better than that. The automatic transmission also, I did forget to tune that, but then I did before. Now, after what you saw, I did just give it a bit of a tweak, so it would work. Now, on we go. I mean, I'm impressed with the automatic transmission. Oh, thank you, high-drift pneumatic suspension. I was worried we were going to do the same thing as happened last time when I built a car. I mean, this is soft, but it maybe just has enough heft not to roll. Or maybe the suspension is just that much better. Because I felt it wanted to go, but then kind of the suspension said, no, you're not going over. And all in all, a 134 isn't a bad starting lap. Especially considering I had a lot of understeer to get used to. Like, case in point. Oh dear. A bit of sand time there, but I think overall that won't make the run completely ruined. I just don't need to worry about this car though. Although, as I said, it's not intended to be just a raw sports car, so it's okay if it doesn't come to the top of the leaderboard. I just have to make sure it's not embarrassed by machines that shouldn't be embarrassing it. I can just floor it though whenever I want, and it does grip, which is, well, for something with tyres this narrow, remarkable. They are only 165s, remember. But for once, automation has got it right in saying it just doesn't need anything more. I would have given it something more, but it just wouldn't have needed them. It would have added weight and made it unnecessarily less economical. So I think if we're lucky we'll get a sub 130 time, which is pretty good. And I don't think we'll beat the Mazda Cosmo. But again, the Mazda Cosmo, although it's a lot older, is a sports car, so that's to be expected. We can just cut across those corners? No, those curbs, and it just isn't phased by them. So, turn in early here, although we're still going wide. That corner is just one I can't quite get right, but thankfully, again, I haven't thrown myself in just that ditch there. As I cut a corner, and I mess up another one. Yeah, I think I've had it now. I think the second lap was about as good as we're going to get. But still, I haven't been embarrassed by the Hopeless. Not that I know of, at least. I think the Hopeless was a 131. At the very least, we're going to match that vehicle, so, you know. It needn't fear. Its reputation as a decent modern land yacht should be safe. It's kind of a sporty land yacht, yes, but it doesn't come with it at the cost of comfort at all. That's what I find particularly intriguing about it. Oh dear, very, very wide, but we are going quicker and across the line. So, here we are, with a rather remarkable time, actually. Yes, it's set a 1 minute 29.355 time. What is remarkable about that? There have been quicker cars. Well, it is the exact same time as the Durst Lesnar. Exactly. I mean, you can't make these things up. It's perhaps a loss because it does it with four-wheel drive. However, it's perhaps a win because it does it with really soft suspension and much older technology. So I can't really draw a conclusion on this myself. You'll have to decide which car you think wins, since it really varies on what you think wins. Like in my case, I reckon, well, this has been a bit poor. You would expect it to beat the Dursk, being that it has all-wheel drive, with that factor alone. But that's just me. Fronty Muscle and the I-Series with the V8, as well as Blobbert, that weird thing I built before in automation, they've all come above this vehicle, you know. But I'm in two minds about it, because in one, this is an incredibly soft vehicle designed purely to take on bumps. You know, it's not designed to be sporty. But then, on the other hand, it does have a lot of hardware that, despite the fact, should make it capable. Like, you'll see over here, although maybe it isn't the smoothest thing in the world, it does a brilliant job of smoothing those bumps out. So, I like the ability to be able to do that while also providing a lovely smooth drive, and being a flat engine as well, it's going to be smoother than your typical V8 or inline 4 that you might find in other cars. Like, let's just look. Can other cars go over that harsher kind of bump and then come out really cleanly like that? Seemingly no damage to the car or anything. I don't know. Not likely. But anyway, with that being said and done, I'm going to leave it here for today, and I'll say goodbye until another day.